Hi, this is Alexandra at Beadaholique, and in this video I'll be showing you how to make this tiered hoop earring featuring some Czech glass beads on 22 gauge wire. We'll be using the Beadsmith 6-piece wooden mandrel set, as well as some 1.5-inch head pins, a Bali style earring hook, an 8mm jump ring, and these Czech glass beads that are a beautiful Lazure blue Rondelle in 5x3mm and an 11mm Hibiscus bead by Raven's Journey. So here's my wire, my 22 gauge gold, tarnish resistant, and then I also for tools have some flush cutters, nylon jaw pliers, chain nose pliers, and round nose pliers. So you can see there's 4 different sizes of hoop that we'll be making, and let's begin with the smallest and work to larger. At the very top is our 8mm jump ring, and we'll add that on at the end. So let me bring in my ruler and my dowel, and I'm going to start by cutting 2.5 inches of wire. Cut that with my flush cutters, and we're going to shape the wire to the size of this 3/8 inch dowel. So I'm just going to bring the two ends so they cross over each other at the top of that mandrel dowel. I think they're the same thing. About equal tail lengths on either side. Slip that off, and with my chain nose plier, what I'll do is grip right where it crosses with its opposite tail, and I'm going to angle the one tail up about at a 90-degree angle, headed off the top of that loop. Then I'm going to grip the other one about a 1/4 inch away and do the same thing. So once I've got my two tails up there, I'll bring in my round nose plier, grip that with the very tip of the tool, angle it off toward me, and I'm going to create a loop that's headed in the opposite direction as the larger loop, so that it's going like so. And what I'll need to do to get all the way around is go ahead and clip the tail so that, let's see, here's my plier, so that I can grip and complete that round and make a nice curved shape on one side, and clip the extra so it makes an even little loop. And then I'll flip the hoop around. I'm going to do the same thing where I'm angling off to the side, bringing the wire this time toward me. That way both are headed in the same direction here. And again, I'm going to clip that little tail, re-grip my loop, bring it all the way around, and clip that loop flush. Let's see, get a good angle there. All right. So we've got our larger loop with the two small simple wire loops on either side at the top. I'm evening those out and closing them up for now. We have our first little tier of the 3/8 inch. So I'm going to do the same thing now using the 1/2 inch size. And for that, I'm going to cut 3 inches of wire. So each tier is going to use 1/2 inch more wire than the previous one, but otherwise it's the same process of shaping and wrapping. Bring my plier up and create those angles again at 90 degrees, again with about a 1/4 inch in between each uplifted tail, like so. Bring in my round nose plier, angle off to the side, create my simple wire loop at the top, giving myself space by clipping the excess wire and pulling the remainder fully around the base, like so. Do that on the opposite side. Like I did before, I'm going to flip it over so that I'm right-handed, so I'll have it on my right side. I'm going to angle the wire off in the opposite direction of the larger hoop, curve the top of the tail over, and clip. Adjust those little top loops so they're nice and straight. And we've got the second size in our tier using the 1/2 inch dowel. Now I'm going to bring in the 5/8 and do the same thing, this time cutting 3.5 inches of wire. I find the 22 gauge works really well. You could go a little thicker, do 20 gauge or even 18 if you want. Pick up my 5/8 inch dowel, cross the tails over the top, and repeat the process. Angling up at 90 degrees, leaving that 1/4 inch space. You can see my tails are a little uneven, but I think we'll have just enough wire to do our simple wire loop at the top still. Bringing the wire around. Clipping and completing my loop. Now, if you don't want to flip the piece over and you just want to work on the same side you're at, then you can do that too. So this time I'll demonstrate that, just coming around the same way. Again, both wires are looping in the same direction, so the clipped tails are headed in a uniform way. You'll notice that I'm constructing all the loops first, and then we will latch them together. I'm going to do my final loop here on the 7/8 inch, and for that I'm going to cut 4 inches of wire. Over the top. Creating my angles. Squeeze that in a little. You can reshape as you go too. Create my last set of simple wire loops. Angling and looping. And clipping. Give those a little squeeze. Let's get them in the right direction there. Okay, so now we have our 4 sized tiers of hoops. Get these dowels out of the way and scoop these tails off to the side. Okay, so to connect, let's start at the top and connect them in the order they'll be hanging. And to do that, I'm going to bring in my chain nose pliers. Taking the second tier down to connect it to the first, what I'll do is angle the little simple wire loop off to the side, the same way I would a jump ring. Do that on both loops. And then latch them onto my previous tier. It gives a satisfying little snap, and then I close up the loops, just like so. And move down to my next one and do the same thing. Angling off and latching on. Make sure my loops are closed tight. And what I realize I'd like to demonstrate to you with these pliers, the nylon jaw pliers, is to work harden the wire to keep its shape. What you can do is squeeze with that nylon jaw of the plier all around your wire. And that will help to work harden and keep the shape of each loop. You can do that really at any stage of this since they pivot around each other like so. Oh, I see my little loop has come off at the top here, so let me make sure that my attachment is strong and flush. There we go. Okay, give this top one just a little squeeze. Alternatively, what you could do is, before you even start wrapping, you could run the nylon jaw pliers along the length of your wire to do that as well. Okay. And you can see I tightened up that closure just by squeezing the loop a little bit. Get that spacing even. I'm ready to add my last little tier, my largest tier actually. I'm going to grip and angle and latch. There we go. All right. Now, to finish off the top with this jump ring and add our earring hook, we can go ahead and do that. I'm going to open this 8mm jump ring just like so off to the side. And I'm going to slide on the 2 simple wire loops of my top tier. And I'll also slide on my jump ring. And close it up. And there we have the structure for our tiered hoop earring. So now we get to add beads. And that's a fun thing about this design, is it could feature any number of beautiful combinations of glass beads or semi-precious stones, whatever it is you'd like to add in there, other metal beads. Possibilities are endless. So I'm taking the 1.5-inch head pin, sliding my bead on, angling off, and creating a simple wire, or I'm sorry, this is a wrapped wire loop above the bead. And so I have my loop there. I'm going to open it off to the side. And you can see that I am graduating the numbers of beads, starting with 1 at the top. And I'm going to latch that onto my jump ring. By doing that, it will hang down into the first tier of the hoops. I'm going to grip flat on the loop I just made and coil around the base to complete my wrapped wire loop. Coiling around twice and clipping. Ready to go. There we are. Okay, and now I'm going to move to the next tier, take my next head pin and put on 2 beads. I'm going to work in this same fashion down the length of the earring, adding first 2 and then 3. And once I'm completing my final wrap with the hibiscus flower, I'll meet you back for the final wrap. So I'm ready to do my final wrap, and I'm coming through the bottom of the flower where the 2 petals are cleft and bringing my head pin in that direction. And that way when I bring my little bead over the top, it'll lay nice and flush on the curve of that other petal. I'm going to grip with my round plier, curve over the top, and do my last wrapped wire loop, opening it up and sliding it on. You could also do a nice thing by hammering each of these tiers if you wanted to get more of a rustic artisan look. I'm going to grip and coil. And this wrapped wire loop is going to help stabilize the hibiscus flower and keep it from pivoting within the hoop as well. And now we've completed our second earring. So these are the tiered hoop earrings. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please visit our YouTube channel for all the latest updates, and you can find all of these supplies at beadaholique.com. Thanks for watching.